then.
I just said.
No, you didn't.
Once upon a time, not so long ago. Better?
Meh.
In a kingdom not so far from you.
Me?
No, from them, you know.
Oh, them.
May I?
Be my guest.
Once upon a time, not so long ago, in a kingdom not far from you, there lived a princess, and a king, and a queen.
Well, there would be if there was a princess. Stands to reason.
Who are these two again?
Ribbit. Oh, I beg your pardon.
That's quite all right, dear.
That's Struts and Frets, ma'am.
Oh, good afternoon, matron of matrons. Just put the soup down. We'll reach for it later.
Computer geeks. Struts and Frets. They're computer geeks.
Not very posh, are they?
Not our sort at all.
No, indeed. I blame public schools.
Were your schools posh?
Oh, our schools were so posh the gym was called James.
The princess and the king and the queen could only talk when they were on the magical interweb.
Just like us, because of the separation spell.
The separation spell that turns us into frogs if we actually touch one another.
Matron, there's a fly in my soup.
Oh, can I have one too? Or maybe 3 or 4?
The separation spell had been cast long ago by the wizard who was very, very cross with the king.
Not much of a wizard if he can't target his spells.
As I was saying...
You'd think a competent wizard could have cast the spell so it only affected them up at the palace.
Frets?
Sorry, Struts. But it was all because of the dagger, wasn't it? Are you going to tell them about the dagger?
I was going to try.
Struts is nice, isn't he?
Really, darling, control yourself.
He reminds me of someone I know. Do you remember that boy at school? Pavlov.
Doesn't ring any bells.
Do you think they know we can hear every word they're saying?
Back to the dagger.
The dagger had been made by a very wicked magician who lived in a very tall tower just north of the kingdom. The magician and the wizard had fallen out over a woman, a witch, not important. And so, the magician plotted to visit unimaginable horror onto the kingdom. It was revenge, pure and simple. He imbued the dagger with the power to turn almost anyone who held it into an economicist, and we all know about economicists. The magician left the dagger, no one knew where, but let it be known in the kingdom that it was the dagger of freedom and justice, and allowed the mystery of it all to tempt treasure hunters from all over. There were some in the kingdom who knew exactly what the dagger did and tried to hide it. Others knew exactly what it did and wanted to own it for their own nefarious purposes. And so, our story begins.
We'll tell you a tale of one who's pure of heart and the bravest of the brave. There's a witch, a wizard, and his daughter too, and some geeks who won't behave. They're burdened by a spell, a separation spell, and how it all befell, well, this tale will surely tell.
Meeting called to order.
Hey, 13.
Hey, 7.
Have you heard from Janice?
Not the J word. She hates being called Janice.
Okay, geez, have you heard from the witch?
Come on, 7. You know what she likes to hear.
Do we really have to call her Radiant Queen of the Night? Is she still on that whole thing?
If you want to keep your job, you'll humor her. Have you heard from her this morning?
Not since we went to the palace. Oh, wait, here she is now. Oh, Radiant Queen of the Night, oh, mightiest witch of them all.
Oh, not again. Radiant Queen, you're muted. You're muted.
You hear me now?
Yes, many thanks, O radiant Queen of the Night.
Why is it so hard to talk to one's minions nowadays?
Sorry, my queen.
In the old days, we could just go up on the hilltops and dance au natural until the sun came up. No trouble getting minions to attend those meetings, I can tell you. So, my pretties, how are we getting on?
I flew to the palace just as instructed. I fought the fire-breathing dragon, leapt over the crocodile-infested moat, hurtled through the ironclad portcullis protected by the boiling oil, then right through the king's elite palace guards that have never seen an enemy that they couldn't beat. And there it was, just like you said.
In the tallest tower in the tallest place in the palace?
That's right. I opened the trap door and found this.
A carrot?
It was a dagger when I found it, honest.
The dagger of freedom and justice does not transform into a carrot in transit.
Maybe it does.
Who said that?
It is I, O gloriously wicked witch, minion number 13.
Explain in the next 2 very dangerous seconds exactly what you meant by maybe it does.
My pleasure, O deliciously deviant diva. They say, as you know, only the purest of heart, the bravest of brave, can wield the dagger. But such a person, if one can be found, is given awesome insights to the wonder of economics every time they pick up the dagger.
What's economics?
It's what economicists do.
What's an economicist?
Someone who predicts the future.
Well, that would certainly supply a demand.
Yes, but I made the demand, and you failed to supply, oh manifestly maladapted minions.
Ah, but you see, a wonderfully wicked witchety witch. There is a lesser-known part of the legend that the dagger of freedom and justice only retains its form in the hands of someone who is worthy. I assumed you knew that.
Of course I knew that. Everybody in my line of work knows that. Definitely, naturally.
How can I be the bravest of brave and purest of heart? I work for you.
Remind me, for I forgot. What do they say about how we can transform this carrot back into the dagger of freedom and justice?
We can't. This is now just a carrot. The real dagger has been returned by magical means to the tallest place.
In the tallest tower in the palace. Yes, right. Magic.
But my queen, they have also brought you this.
What's that?
Biscotti.
From the palace?
Yes, my queen. Try one.
It's so much better with a cup of coffee. Here, I brought one for you.
So, my pretties, you have completely failed me.
Oh, no, your majesty. We can still get the dagger.
Oh, yes, we can, O radiant, forgiving queen.
Well, see that you do.
What do we do now?
Look, we're gonna need to find someone who's bravest of the brave and pure of heart to help us.
Right, but who?
I have an idea about that. Have you seen Dame Biscotti's YouTube channel?
She works at the palace?
Where do you think I got the biscotti?
Right. What has she posted recently?
I'll send you a link.
When you swim in the sea and an eel bites your knee, that's amore. Hello and welcome to this special YouTube presentation. I'm Dame Biscotti. Oh, tell you what, why don't I say hello, boys and girls, and you say back, hello, Dame Biscotti. Let's give it a try. Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, Dame Biscotti.
Really? That's all you got? Let's try one more time, but with a little more oomph. Ready? Hello, boys and girls.
Hello,
Dame Biscotti. Oh, that's better. But you, sir, did not say anything. Let's try one more time. Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, Dame Biscotti.
Oh, that's wonderful. Today, we'll be talking with my son, Dino. He is the bravest son anyone could want and pure of heart. Oh, don't talk to me about pure of heart. But first, a real treat. We Biscottis are very important people. Our family have baked for the palace for 2 generations. It's the princess! You didn't know I knew the princess, did you?
Hello, Dame Biscotti. I'd really like some bread, please.
Hello, darling. Yes, of course. How is my favorite princess?
Oh, I'm fine.
Oh dear, that doesn't sound very good.
I just wish I could meet people.
Well, we're meeting right now.
I don't mean on the magical interweb. I mean in person.
Shh! Don't say that out loud. You know we can't meet in...
Person?
Yes, in Person. But we can't do that until the spell is lifted.
Well, it's miserable, and I can't imagine that what my father did was so bad that the wizard had to cast a spell that made people who met in person turn into frogs. And no more passing things back and forth on our magical interweb.
Unless I was magical.
Well, you're not, and though I probably am, what good does it do me?
Your father, the king, did a very bad thing.
He eloped with my mother.
Yes, the wizard's daughter.
But they got married and everything.
They certainly did. And then you were born and everything was lovely until the wizard discovered what had happened. That's when he cast the spell to separate them.
Well, I still don't see why the wizard couldn't have just put the spell on Mommy and Daddy and left the rest of us alone.
He was very cross.
I still want some bread.
I'll bake you a loaf.
You still have flour and yeast?
Well, I did a little panic buying.
Hear that?
I still don't know how it helps.
We'll hack into her phone when she heads for her stash of flour and yeast.
And?
Wait and see.
I suppose this is where we do our evil laugh.
Exactly.
Dino, are you there? Dino! For goodness sake. You know, reception never gets any better in the woods.
Is it raining there?
Dunno.
Let's check the weather on your phone.
How?
You take your phone outside, and when it gets wet, it's raining. Oh, you could also buy my broken barometer. There's no pressure. You don't look well.
Just hungry.
Well, log off and make some bread.
Make some bread? When was the last time you saw any yeast for sale? Or bread flour?
Biscotti up at the palace seems to have plenty of both. I bet she panic shops and has a hidden stash somewhere. I wonder where.
We could try to find out.
How?
I could do a little hacking.
We can't hack into her phone.
Oh, yes, we can.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, yes, we can.
Oh, no, you can't.
Oh, yes, we can.
Oh, no, you can't.
Feel better now?
Only slightly. I'll ding you when I've hacked in.
Can you hear me now, Mother?
Yes. Where have you hidden the flour?
Where I told you, by the third tree on the right. Use the goggle, find where I'm going, even in the dark app.
I am using Goggle Find Where You're Going Even in the Dark app. It doesn't seem to be working.
Try turning your phone.
There's nothing on this side.
Turn the phone over and rotate it.
Oh, that's better.
We're in.
Sweet.
Dino, you are the bravest son anyone could want and the purest of heart, but I can't figure this app out. Just tell me where you hid the yeast and the bread flour.
You getting all this?
Yes, the bravest son anyone could ask for, and certainly the purest of heart. That's the second time she said it.
Do you understand now?
I'm beginning to.
It's all right, Mother. I got eyes on you.
What?
I've got you on the Find My Mother When She Is Lost, using the Goggle Find Where I'm Going Even in the Dark app.
There's an app for that?
Yes. Now keep walking.
I'm walking.
Stop.
stopping. Still no marker.
It's digital. Open the Pokeman app.
Oh, there's a cute little purple squirrel sitting over there by the log.
That's the marker. There should be a trap door near the log. If you open it, you'll find the yeast, flour, and 10 years worth of toilet paper.
Sweet, I've got the GPS on the stash.
The son may have eyes on his mother, but I've finally got eyes on him. We'll hack into his apps and convince him that Biscotti is in terrible, terrible trouble and lure him in.
Yes. And what exactly will that do?
Well, what would you do if you thought your mummy was in terrible, terrible trouble?
Not a lot.
Well, we have already established that you are not the bravest of brave or pure of heart.
Oh, but he is.
Precisely.
I am sure I heard an evil laugh just then. I haven't heard an evil laugh like that since the wizard cast his spell. Oh well. Thanks, Dino. Bye.
Mother? Mother! You disappeared. None of my mother apps are working. Mother! You idiot. She can't hear you from a distance. Time to download the super duper My Mother's in Terrible, Terrible Trouble app. To the App Store! It's not the wrong password. I wrote it down. Come on, I've been using this password for years. It's not the wrong password. Reset password? New password. What do you mean the passwords don't match?
Did you get all that?
I did. Dino thinks Dame Biscotti is in terrible trouble.
Which she is not.
And the Queen of the Night's 2 evil minions are luring him.
Dino?
Yes, Dino. Those minions are luring him to goodness knows what.
Oh, good gosh, we should tell someone.
You've forgotten something.
What?
We came to fetch.
Steal.
All right, steal. Easton bread flour. It's over here.
And then we should probably tell someone.
Probably.
As the days turn to weeks and the weeks turn to years, the lonely princess grieves for what should be hers. There's no hugging her friends, there's no holding her hand, and no prince to be found in all the wide land.
I'll never find a prince at this rate.
Very overrated, your average prince.
You didn't seem to think that father was overrated.
Well, your father... Bother.
I'm sure he was, before the separation spell.
No, I mean, bother. I was just ambushed by a flickering doom demon. I have to drop down 2 levels and then fight my way into the Canyon of Doom all over again.
Tragic.
Listen, your father was and is a very special man. It's not every prince who would want to marry the daughter of a wizard.
Or put up with your particular proclivities.
Proclivities, hey? Is that the vocabulary word of the day? I happen to like computer games, especially the gory ones. Proclivities, huh? I'll have to work that in later on.
I don't see why father lets you play computer games, but insists that I have to embroider.
Because not letting your wife play computer games would count as vile. And terrible things happen to husbands who are vile.
Not when the husband and wife have to live in totally separate wings of the palace.
But it's the threat that counts. And you have to learn to embroider because that's what proper princesses do. And according to your father, proper princesses would never do anything that would lead to the mess that we're in now.
Unlike the headstrong daughters of wizards.
Exactly.
Was eloping fun?
Almost the best fun I ever had. Don't worry, sweetie. We'll find you a prince. And when your father finally manages to persuade my father to lift the spell, then you might even get to meet him in the flesh. Your prince, that is.
Fat chance.
Nil desperandum, child.
I'm 23.
Yes, it has gone on quite a bit, hasn't it? My father was really angry.
There's not a single prince listed in the What's Occurring app, and I check every day.
Maybe he's just not got an account yet. Curious, though.
Why curious?
Oh, well, there was stories among the fairy folk about the Queen of the Night.
Oh?
When she was younger. And this is hearsay, mind you. She was briefly married to an Eastern king. He divorced her soon after and ran off with a wood nymph, but they say there was a son. The story goes that she mislaid him in the woods. Total codswallop, of course. We all know that the Queen of the Night is an evil, conniving baggage who can't be trusted.
Or brought low by a man and having inadvertently mislaid her baby in the forest shows vengeance on the whole world.
Yeah, right, sweetie. That's what happened.
You said curious.
Oh, all right. Maybe there's some truth to the story. My father,
The wizard.
the wizard. Is there someone there with you?
No.
Okay. My father once said that the baby boy landed on his feet, whatever that meant.
Perhaps he was reared by wolves, which is why he doesn't know about what's occurring. And even now, he's roaming in the forest and howling at the moon, completely unaware that he's really a magical prince.
I can't say that I've heard much howling. Anyway, I'm going back to the Canyon of Doom. I'm about to level up.
Who are we going to tell?
Dame Biscotti, I suppose.
Are you crazy? You're covered in flour.
One of the bags was leaking.
Exactly. And if we call Dame Biscotti, she'll see it and know where we've been. Right. Let's call the Queen. She can't stand the Queen of the Night.
Foodling, Doom Demon.
It's me, your Madge, Struts. Frets is in on the call.
Hello, you two. Frets, this game you sold me is impossible. I can't get past level 3. The Doom Demons get me every time.
Did you find the lance of overwet pastry?
Of course.
The mace of twisted spaghetti?
Yes, I'm not a beginner, you know.
And of course, the tub of dragon lard.
Of course The what? Oh, Foodle. I have to go back again, don't I?
Well.
All right, what do you want?
Dino is being led astray by the witch's minions.
Biscotti's boy?
Yes.
And this concerns me how?
Even as we speak, the minions are luring Dino to the witch's evil lair, and they intend to tell her that Dame Biscotti described Dino as the bravest of brave and pure of heart.
Rats! Get off the interwebs, you two. I must tell the king. Oh, and Frets.
Your Madge.
I don't know how you heard that the princess wanted a loaf, but it was very nice of you to find her the flour and to make it. I expect it will be overnighted to the palace via Fed Up. Don't you?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Robert?
My love?
We have a problem.
Well, hello, boys and girls.
Hello, Dame Biscotti.
Really? Let's try that again once more with feeling. Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, Dame Biscotti.
Better, but you, sir, you're still not saying anything. Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, Dame Biscotti.
Much better. Today, we are happy to welcome our good friend, the princess.
Hello, Dame Biscotti. Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, princess.
What are we baking today?
How about biscotti?
Oh, that'll be wonderful.
It's the yeast I can dough. Yeast I can dough. Well, please yourself. I hear you are trying to find a prince on what's occurring for a virtual date.
Oh, yes.
Well, whatever you do, don't date a baker.
Why not?
Because they're too needy. Get it? Needy. No? Always too needy. Anyway.
And what are we baking today?
I'm glad you asked that, Princess. We are going to bake biscottis. What's special about biscottis, I hear you ask?
I know. They're twice baked, oblong shaped, dry, crunchy, and maybe dipped in a drink. Not like anybody we know, of course.
Of course. Guess what, everyone? It's our own King Robert. Hello, Your Majesty.
Hello, Biscotti.
Your Majesty.
Teddy, we're doing the weekly bake show.
Hello, sweetie. Hi. Biscotti, I need to have a word.
Your Majesty.
Biscotti, we think Janice's minions have lured your son Dino into her evil lair.
Gaps!
Did she just say gaps?
I'm afraid so.
I blame public schools.
Biscotti, old girl. How's it hanging?
Matron number 1, I can't talk now. The king is on the other line.
Oh, Robert won't care. Are you aware you just said gaps?
I most certainly did not.
I think you'll find, old girl, that that is exactly what you did say.
Don't you old girl me, you, and you can put your, I think you'll find, bring up your...
Biscotti!
Your Majesty.
You said gaps.
Oh, yeah, it's a typo in the script. Give me the line again.
Biscotti, we think Janice's minions have lured your son Dino into her evil lair.
Gasp!
Wait, Biscotti has a son?
Where did you get that?
Daddy, everyone has a script. I just hadn't read mine very carefully.
Well, that is some explanatory value.
Why don't I know this? Why haven't I ever met him?
It's a bit of a secret.
Is he handsome?
Well, he doesn't take after me, if that's what you mean, dearie.
For reasons of state, I swore Biscotti to secrecy. That is all I can say.
But where does he live? What's his occurring user ID?
He lives in the forest, and he doesn't have a what's occurring account.
In the forest? Does he howl?
No, he doesn't howl. He is a lovely boy, the bravest of the brave, the strongest of the strong.
Biscotti!
Sorry, Majesty, I forgot.
We need to talk alone.
Certainly, Your Majesty. One moment. Well, that about does it for today. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. Bye.
I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Struts and frets. They'll know. They always know.
What have you done with my mother?
Minion number 1, is Dino's mother safe?
As safe as houses.
That's evil villain talk, isn't it?
Is it?
I mean, she's not really safe at all. She's completely under your power, and unless I do exactly as you say, something terrible will happen to her.
If you like.
What do I have to do?
Go to the palace, fight the fire-breathing dragon at the gate, leap over the crocodile-infested moat, hurtle through the iron-clad portcullis, under the archway protected by boiling oil, and right past the king's elite palace guard that have never seen an enemy they couldn't take. Then climb to the top of the tallest tower in the tallest place in the palace, open the trapdoor that you see there, and steal the dagger of freedom and justice.
Dagger of what? Never heard of it.
Oh, a trinket, a mere nothing.
And you want it?
A whim.
You have minions, lots of them. Why can't one of them get it?
Oh, it's so hard to get good help nowadays. Now, give me your cell phone. We wouldn't want you calling for help or anything.
I'll get the dagger. Don't you dare harm my mother. Here.
Ooh, minion number 1. Did you see that?
I did. He's not supposed to be able to do that.
Not only braver than brave, but magical too. This will require some thinking about. Perhaps Minion 13 and Minion 7 should follow this Dino, whoever he is, and make sure he does exactly as he is told.
Consider it done, O craftily craven crone.
What?
Oh, end meeting.
Hello, friends.
We fed up the flower just like the queen asked us to.
Where do you get flour?
We found it. What can we do for you, princess?
I want to know about Dame Biscotti's son.
Who?
Don't play games with me, Frets. I know he exists. Tell me, or I'll tell my parents that you're operating an illicit flour mill.
That's not true.
Maybe not, but someone is. That flour must have come from somewhere. And who do you think my parents will believe? A princess or 2 computer nerds? So, what about Dame Biscotti's son?
His name is Dino and he lives somewhere in the woods.
How come you know all about him and I've never heard of him until today?
We've seen Dino and Dame Biscotti in the woods lots of times, and we just put 2 and 2 together.
But we can't talk about him.
Why not?
The king and queen told us not to.
Really? Well, I think I'll take a trip into the woods myself and ask Dino what's so secret about him.
You can't.
I'm the princess.
Yes, but the woods.
I'm hardly going to meet anyone in person in the woods. They're huge.
Probably true, but the magical interweb is very patchy in the woods, and sometimes there are places where it doesn't work at all.
That might even be a relief. I'm going.
Princess!
Oh dear, what can the matter be? Oh dear, what can the matter be? Oh dear, what can the matter be? Princess is smelling a rat. She now knows that Dino's not all he's cracked up to be. Thinks he's a miller who's killing illegally. Brought up by wolves in a cave back beyond the trees. Perhaps he's a prince after all. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Oh dear, what can the matter be? Oh dear, what can the matter be? Princess is smelling a rat. He might be a fellow who shatters compatibly. Maybe a champion at chess or Monopoly. Princess will find him and ask him quite properly, who are you really? Don't lie. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Oh dear, what can the matter be? Oh dear, what can the matter be? Princess is smelling a princess is smelling a princess is smelling a rat.
Well, this is nice.
Yes. Just how I wanted to spend my Friday night. On a stakeout. With no stakes.
You're just grumpy because Biscotti has cookies and you don't.
I'd pass you some, Majesty, but I am not magical.
Just for that, I'll remind you that as the daughter of a wizard, I most definitely am magical. So hand them over.
Drat!
Don't worry, Biscotti. My wife will make it up to you.
Oh, not to worry, sir. I brought plenty. Yeah. This dagger doesn't do much, does it?
No, and I intend to keep it that way.
Gosh, what does it do when it does do it?
It turns people into economicists. It's been hidden in the tallest part of the palace, in the tallest tower, for hundreds of years now.
Well, unfortunately, my love, that's only partly true.
Which part?
Well, it certainly turned some people into economicists. Not everybody. Just the bravest of the brave and the pure of heart. And it's been in this tower only since we eloped.
Wait, what? Where did it come from?
I regret to say that I stole it from your father. Well, I was rooting around for a ladder on the night that we eloped, and eventually found one in the garden shed just outside your father's cottage. I also found a dagger wrapped in a bit of cloth, and, well, it sort of called out to me, and I picked it up.
Gosh, what happened?
I turned into an economicist. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought I could see the future. And that's not all.
Well, that doesn't seem so bad.
Oh no! What is 2 + 2?
4.
Now ask the Queen.
Your Majesty, what is 2 + 2?
4, of course.
Yes. Now ask me.
Sir, what is 2 + 2?
Well, what do you want it to be?
Oh, you see? It's awful. But I can't help myself. And all the futures I think I see, they all turn out to be wrong. Ugh.
Poor darling. No wonder you leave the national bookkeeping to me.
I don't dare go anywhere near it. Within a year, I'd bankrupt us all.
Hang on. Wait a footling minute.
My love?
Is this the real reason my father was so angry with us? You stole his dagger?
Well, maybe. I am not sure. I never dared ask him.
But you're pure of heart and braver than brave.
But not brave enough. Once I knew the dagger's terrible power, I hid it in the tower. And I hope to never have to think about it ever again.
But father discovered the dagger gone and suspected the truth and lashed out. Is that what happened?
Well, he asked me flat out whether I had the dagger. I lied.
Oh!
And he cast the separation spell and said it would stay in place until I told him where the dagger was.
23 years, sir. I have been afraid of turning into a frog for 23 years!
I know, okay? Look, I thought that anything would be better than being overrun by economicists.
Wait, you just told me that it was only the pure of heart and the braver than brave. There can't be many of those about.
Well, more than you'd think.
Including my Dino?
Right.
How did the Queen of the Night discover where the dagger was?
Maybe your father mentioned his suspicions, you know, wizard or witch. What? The Queen of the Night is not bad looking for a witch.
And my father is very dashing in a wizardly sort of way.
But still, ew!
I thought you had been negotiating with my father to lift the spell.
In a sort of manner of speaking.
Oh?
I've sent him daily emails, but he always blocks them.
Nothing face to face then?
Well, not as you might say, face to face. No.
I think 23 years of deception counts as vile. Don't you, Biscotti?
About as vile as it gets.
What? I was trying to protect the country against economicists. Your father could have created one a week just by putting an advertisement in the local paper for people pure of heart and braver of brave. See the future, do good, write incomprehensible books, and then come blooding.
But he didn't.
We don't know that. Look at Blogovia. The Blogovian punt crashed 10 years ago, and Blogovia had lots of economicists. They were probably all created by your father and his dagger.
Vile.
Wait. Do you hear that?
Yes, she called me vile again.
No. That creaking noise. No! dagger back.
Mother? Mother, is that you? How'd you escape from the witch?
They never had me. They tricked you.
Gosh, I really thought with the evil laughs and all that, they really had you.
No, it was a trick.
Oh.
Your Madge, sir?
What do you two want?
It's the princess, Your Madge. She went into the woods to look for Dino.
How romantic.
No, it isn't. She was wandering about, calling Dino's cell phone, and someone
Not Dino.
answered and lured her away.
It must have been the witch. She has my cell. We must rescue the princess.
Pure of heart and braver than brave. That's my boy.
Who gave her Dino's cell phone number?
We may have mentioned that we hacked into Dame Biscotti's phone. It was in her contacts, and the princess is very, very persuasive.
I bet the princess threatened you, but what would the Queen of the Night want with her?
If she just hasn't got me as a hostage to get the dagger, maybe the princess will do almost as well.
Go!
Dino, wait!
Grab your cell phone and tablets, everyone! To the witch's evil lair!
Do you think he meant us too?
Ah.
Are you sure?
Oh, bother, come on.
She's the queen of the night, and she acts out of spite. There's some subconscious reason why she's here. Oh, you get what you see. She's as hard as can be, like a snake hanging down from a beam. When she whistles, minions run. There is evil to be done. There's a dagger waiting just for her. But one brave and pure of heart has to go and play his part, or the dagger will remain right there.
Well, we got her.
Easy enough. As soon as she called Dino's cell phone, I just put on a manly voice and said, I was being chased by minions and the woods were full of them.
And the evil minions.
All three of us.
My pretties.
Yelled and cackled like demons and chased the princess straight into the lockup.
Even if we don't have that Biscotti woman, we still have enough to persuade Dino to give us the dagger when he finally arrives.
Ding dong.
Wait a minute. There's someone at the door.
I have the dagger.
So I see. Now, put it on the ground in front of you and step back.
Why should I? You didn't kidnap my mother. You lied about that.
Well, why did you come here? And with the dagger? Could it be that you thought that instead we had kidnapped the princess? Well, we have. Minion number 7, do your thing.
I'm not scared of you or your cackling minions, you horrid, evil old woman. You just wait until I get out of here.
I'm not old. Grumpy little thing, isn't she, Dino? Now, give me the dagger. We wouldn't want me to have to turn the princess into the kind of frog that no one wants
Radiant
to kiss.
Queen of the Night.
What?
You're being hacked.
Get out of my meeting!
But I've only just hacked in. All yours, sir.
Put my minions back online!
Now, Janice. It is Janice, isn't it? Before we get started, it's probably only fair to mention that we have your lair surrounded.
Go away! I have the princess, and in a minute I'll have the dagger!
Don't you dare harm the princess.
Oh, golly gosh, the wizard's daughter finally deigns to visit me.
You know the witch, Majesty?
Of course she knows me. Back when that snake of a husband left me for the wood nymph, me and the wizard were an item for a while.
6 months. You were an item for 6 horrible months.
Easy come, easy go.
You tried to steal his spell book.
He owed me.
He looked after you and your baby boy for 6 months. All you did was make my life and his complete misery.
Well, I'm going to make your life a complete misery all over again if I don't get that dagger.
She's my daughter.
What do I care? She's no relative of mine.
But she is a relative of mine. My granddaughter, in case you have forgotten, Janice. Princess, are you okay?
Yes, grandfather.
Daddy?
James, what are you doing here?
Do you really think I wouldn't notice all these people tramping hysterically through my woods?
I say, I think hysterically is putting it a bit strong.
You be quiet, oh son-in-law of mine. Tell me, Janice, what were you going to do with the dagger, assuming it ever came into your possession?
I was going to create hundreds of economicists, starting with that lad out there as proof of concept.
You mean Dino?
Yes. And once people found out how easy it is to become an economicist, they'd flock and pay through the nose to touch the dagger.
Oh, good grief.
It's no more than you were planning to do.
What? No, it wasn't. Once I realized what the dagger did, I hid it away in the tallest tower, in the tallest part of the palace, so that you couldn't create hundreds of economicists.
You impudent pup! That was never my plan!
Hang on. Wait a footling minute. You both hid the dagger for fear of what the other might do with it?
Of course! I may have misjudged you, my boy.
This is all very touching, but the princess is still in my power, and Dino is going to make a really good proof of concept. So I suggest you all leave now, and I'll see about returning the princess in a day or two. How about that?
Dino, how long have you been holding that dagger?
About an hour, sir.
All right, one moment. Daughter, what is 2 + 2?
4?
Granddaughter?
4, of course.
Dino, what is 2 + 2?
4?
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure it's 4.
But he's touched the dagger.
Oh, Robert, work it out.
I knew it. I knew it. He's magical. Only the pure of heart and braver than brave can move the dagger from place to place. But it doesn't affect them if the pure of heart and braver than brave are magical as well.
Got it in one.
But how can he be magical? Only the children of magical people can be magical.
You mislaid him in the forest, remember? You ran off when I discovered you trying to steal my spell book, and you left him on a log.
Dino is not Biscotti's boy at all?
No. He's the long-lost son of Janice and the Eastern King, who ran off with a wood nymph.
But that means...
Dino's a prince! He's a prince! Get me out of here!
He was reared by a pack of wolves, until I found him running around the woods. Dame Biscotti knows the rest.
Oh, I was beginning to think I'd been written out. Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, Dame Biscotti!
Enough! Enough of that. Go on, Biscotti.
So, the wizard brought Dino to me, but they stayed in touch. And when Dino was old enough, he put him in charge of the secret flour mill and the toilet paper factory deep in the woods.
And you knew all of this, dearest husband of mine.
When your father cast the separation spell, Biscotti told me she knew where the palace could buy extra flour and toilet paper. We swore each other to secrecy. In those days, it was every man and woman for themselves. I also thought I'd worked out who Dino really was, but I kept that to myself too. Sorry.
About that spell, Daddy?
It's gone.
We can touch other people?
Try it.
Oh, I'm not a frog.
No, but you're still vile.
No curses, huh? Well, that makes this easy. Hiya!
Whoa!
What the footling?
Not very pure of heart, then.
Not very.
So that's how it ends.
The princess finds her gallant prince.
The witch has lost her prize.
There's no more spell.
It turned out well.
It's never a surprise.
The kingdom back to normal is.
But once in every while,
There comes a day.
The queen doth say.
The king is really vile.
But life is like that, isn't it?
Whatever your proclivity.
now find a rhyme.
There's lots of time.
While we end this grand festivity.
Well, that's nice.
It ended well, and we're all back to normal.
Wait, all that time? Did you two know you were frogs?
Of course, dear.
But you have to keep up appearances, don't you?
Here we are again, happy as can be, all good pals and jolly good company, strolling round the town, out upon the spree, all good pals and jolly good company. Never mind the weather, never mind the rain, now that we're together, whoop she goes again. La-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-dee, all good pals and jolly good company, all good pals and jolly good company.